Hi guys, Brett here from Hearns Hobbies, and I am joined by Scotty Rawlins, Scotty 2 Hottie.
You are.
Formerly of Hearns Hobbies fame. Now you've gone off and done your own thing, but you're still racing Yokomo through and through. Aren't you? Big member of the team?
2013.
Tell us.
That's a long time ago.
So what's in the bag, mate? You've bought something in. You've bought the
Something
latest
special.
weapon.
It's just been finished, just been built.
Yeah?
You know what it is.
I do know what it
I think
is.
the viewers might know what it is.
I'm going to whip it out the bag.
Slide it out.
Ooh.
Oh.
Did you make that? Is that your pillowcase?
Yeah.
Smells like your pillowcase.
Had other special items in there.
Did it?
We won't go into that. It's called recycling.
That's right.
Look at
Reuse and recycle. Look at that. That looks to me like the all-new Yokomo MS 1.0.
It sure
Master speed.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Giggity.
So tell us all about it. This is your fresh build?
Yep.
Isn't it?
So, a whole new car from Yokomo. We've gone away from the BD range, now into the MS range.
So the BD did stand for belt drive. Because before that was SD, shaft drive.
Shaft drive, true.
Yep. So now BD was, and now they've gone for master speed.
Master speed.
So a whole new series.
Yep, definitely.
So the BD12 was actually called Master Speed, BD12 Master Speed, wasn't it? That's
yeah,
where
it
they
was the
started
crossover.
it, a crossover car.
And of course they couldn't go to BD13 because 13 is an unlucky number in Asian culture. So
A lot of cultures.
yeah. Not in mine because I'm born on May the 13th, so I'm lucky.
It's lucky for everybody, unlucky for everybody else.
That's right.
That's fantastic, Scotty. So tell us a little bit about your car.
So yeah,
What's different from the old car, the BD12?
There's a fair amount of difference, of course. So you've got your top top A arms now. Got rid of the camber links, which are a great idea because now it takes all that chatter out of the front end and in the rear end, of course.
So it's a lot more rigid.
Yeah, a lot more rigid. So still a little bit of movement. You're going to get a little bit of movement in the ball studs and the cups and that, but hey, that's like
And these
normal
cars are actually cheaper than its predecessor, which is really uncommon for a model.
Yep.
But Yokomo did that very deliberately. They did that so they could get the car out there, get more bums on seats, and then offer upgrades 100%. And evolution as the car goes.
Yep.
Because they've released their products always at the top, and they've found it really hard to actually offer ongoing improvements.
Because there's so many manufacturers on the scene now. Like, yeah, we won't go into them all, but yeah, there's so many. They're all fighting each other for sales, and best way to get bums on seats and driving a car is drop the price.
That's right. But they haven't dropped the quality, but they have simplified it. Looks to me like a much easier car to work on.
Oh, yeah.
Especially like the rear tow control. This goes back to like the BD9. That was the first incarnation where they used
RTC.
So the RTC on rear on the rear, which uses the front steering blocks. So you're cutting your spares down there.
Yep, for sure.
The lower suspension arms. There's only two types. There's front and rear. On the BD12, there was a different one on each corner. So you had to have 4 for spare. And if you didn't, Murphy's Law would say you would break the one that you didn't have in spare.
100%.
They've also machined the mills at pretty much half the thickness of the old ones. So the old ones were 4 mil, these ones are 2.4.
More flex, more grip.
More flex, more grip, and also cheaper. So that's a cheaper arm.
Yeah, for sure.
And they haven't like just cost cut, so they've done things like they've got now machined aluminium sway bar bones.
Plastic ones were terrible. You used to have to sand them down to
get them
try and get them
smooth.
to not be sticky. You slide them straight in, boom, they're perfect.
And apparently the engineering and design process behind this car is phenomenal. I haven't built one myself, but you have.
Oh, look, it just went together so nice. I even had my mum doing video chats while I'm building. She loved watching what was going on.
What mum wouldn't love to watch?
That's
and
exactly
probably Kari helped too.
Oh yeah, she loves it. She loves lubing the bearings. That's her job.
Yep. Beautiful.
Line them up and she does it for you.
Another thing I noticed with the MS over the BD12 is they finally changed the servo mount. And it's still pretty much the same geometry. However, the servo and steering bell crank or steering posts now come off the one mount. Which means you don't have steering post holes on the chassis. Well, the holes are still there. But so you can use the old option. But you've just got these 3 screws here. And that can also be a flex adjustment. So you could take one out in the middle, you can take one out at the back or one out at the front. I wouldn't recommend taking 2 out. It's probably not real flash.
Go active steering.
That's right. and for me, that makes really good because if you've ever toasted a front belt mid-race day. That's one thing less now to take off. You used to have to take the steering bell cranks off the chassis to get the belt out.
Yep, especially take one post off, lift it out of the way, slide the bell down that. Now you can just slide it straight out.
That's right, slide it straight out, even for servicing the car.
Right? So if you've got a direct mount servo, like some companies do, then obviously you can't use this floating system.
But you can use the old mount.
Yeah, and then you just
can use the old mount, and you can use that to
put the steering,
straight to the chassis.
Yep, the post straight to the chassis like the old car. So you've got tuning options there. And
it's the same geometry. Yep. That's funny because I only saw the prototype instructions for this car.
Yep.
And they actually had different geometry on the bell cranks.
Yep.
Just trying to get in tight here.
Get in there nice and tight. There we go.
If I can get, there we go.
There it is.
So B18, there we go. So that is a tuning option. So they've had 18mm bell cranks and 20mm bell cranks as an option for quite some time.
Yep.
The prototype drawings I saw actually had 18.5s. Yeah. And I got a bit excited. I thought, oh, hang on a second. Here we go. It's new geometry. But they've reverted back to the old, and it's probably because they got it so right long ago, right?
Definitely. These cars have always had, even right back to the 8s and all that, they've always had mega amount of steering. So,
and you need that to go fast.
Oh, definitely. Look,
if you don't have steering, you're not going fast.
But sometimes it could be a little bit too aggressive. So then, obviously, you just play with shimming on the bell crank and
change your acclimate. Now, I can see your car here is not built to a stock specification, i.e., the way it come out of the box.
Yep.
I can see that you've got a lot of, I want to call them RP screws, but these are aftermarket T-Works, titanium or aluminium screws.
Just like the look of the titanium.
It's a very neat finish. Yokomo did them as well in the RP series. What, UFO head screws?
So there is some RP ones up the front there.
Yep.
So a little bit of mixture, but I just like how flat the T-Works ones are. They look
the
very
profile of them.
neat. Yeah.
They give a really neat build, don't they?
Looks very, very nice.
I can see you've got alloy outdrives in the back diff.
Yep.
So and you've got blades in the back, which is really nice.
Yep,
one thing I pointed out very early on was the fact that you had the bones in, and not a lot of people will run the direct bone to cup, can I call it, outdrive?
Yeah, just
so see
bone.
Here we've got that. So they do have the blade like the back. I'll try and get the back one on the overhead.
Hiding behind
Where is it?
Hiding behind the arm. Angle it, there it is.
Angle at an angle, here we go. So you can see here that we do in fact have a plastic, what they call blade, or drive cut protector. So you run that with the alloy and it gives you a bigger surface area. And it does give you a smooth operation, that's no doubt, but they can crack, break, get damaged in the heat and battle of racing.
And that's what I've always found on the front. Like I've had blades fail on the front and then it chews all your outdrive to bits. And then
wrecks your bulkhead and your DNF. So you wreck a outdrive, you wreck a dog bone, and usually wreck an arm or something.
So I always make sure I put good quality anti-wear grease on these two metal-to-metal parts. And I tell you, I've never had one fail. And I've actually transferred cups over from cars.
And they don't wear much.
No. And you keep that anti-wear grease on, it's not going to wear out.
Beautiful. So
some will say that I drive a bit too slow, corn dog.
Do they?
But I don't.
You don't?
I'm fast. You know I am.
Yes. Oh, all right.
He knows I'm fast.
You've got some Yokomo weights in here.
Yep, factory weights. Again, they've crossed over from, I think, about the BD9. So, I just transfer them car to car. So, again, they just utilise parts over and over and over again.
Yeah, which is really good in the Yokomo lineage, isn't it?
Yep.
It's a really good process. And you do have, in fact, different battery retainers.
Yep, they're the Vigor quick release ones.
Yep.
So obviously Yokomo have your standard plastic ones with the strap that runs over the top, or you can buy the Yokomo tags to replace.
And that is this one here, said it's spring loaded, so if I can push there and slide that around, and out she comes.
Yep. And they snap into place with a spring load underneath.
So it's got like a ball and
just a spring and a pin, and then when you push that down and flip it, you'll actually hear it click.
Dude, that's a nice positive click that your battery's not going to fall out, isn't it?
No, it ain't going to fall out.
Because
I've seen many batteries fall out.
That's right. It can and does, and sometimes will happen. And
the other thing is, a lot of people mount these too low onto the chassis, so then the battery can slip out and
you don't need to. You can mount
left.
it like halfway up the battery.
Yeah.
You know, there's no reason for it. As long as you can get it in and out easy, you do want it to come up to give it quite some purchase on the side of your battery. So, and I can see here that you've currently got some 8200s.
Yeah, 8200s.
Which is a big pack.
Yep.
That's a pretty big pack.
Yep. So for the weight factor, these are only about 20 grams heavier from like a 6500 pack. So, and I needed to add a bit more weight to my older car, the 12.
Yep. Under the battery.
I haven't actually weighed this car yet with that, but the car's balance is perfect with that pack. So.
And I love the Yokomo, the matte finish.
It is nice, isn't it? Yep.
So you might have to. Somebody said the other day that you're going to sand it, or was that right?
No, that's that corn dog again.
Oh, was he? He's just giving you a rev up.
You don't listen to him.
Oh, giving you a rev up.
He's a good egg. So yeah, so they're the RC maker. Top decks, rear tower, and he's now made the front bumper brace with the actual front body stiffener incorporated underneath, so it makes it a lot neater.
A little bit neater now, right?
Yeah, that looks really neat. You know, normally they mount on top.
Yep.
But this mounts in and under. Super neat.
That is fantastic.
No,
all new motor mount.
Makes some good stuff, yeah.
And you can in fact use the BD12 brace.
Yep.
So there's a brace that goes on, a stiffening brace.
The carbon brace. That can transfer over from the 12.
That can transfer over. It acts like a stopper as well.
Yep. And that also, sort of stops that flex of the aluminium this way. But listening to the boys up New South Wales, they've tried it with and without, and they reckon without is
the way forward.
Better, yeah.
We'll see. The setups always change. You never get it right week one.
Every track's different. Every track's different. Yeah. So, no.
Moulded upper arms on the back. Yeah. Again, same parts tree as the front, which is really good.
Yep.
The Yokomo diff, fluid filled. That's been around since BD.
Probably the 9 as well.
BD9. They had a slight update for BD10 where they put silicone O-rings, but that's still the same.
The X-rings now.
X-rings in there?
So basically you're off-road.
Is there X-rings in there?
Yeah.
In the diff?
In the shocks. Sorry.
In the shocks,
so just standard, but in the shocks they run the X-rings.
Yep, only one, right?
And then Yokomo have been really, really cool. Yeah, only run one, but they give you a spare set in the kit as well. So
really?
You got some extras. Yeah,
that's fantastic.
Thinking, I've got to squeeze
and they still have this ball bearing retainer on the bottom, and I love that piece of engineering. Like, to me, that's over-engineering, but it's very cool. No, and nobody's ever had a problem with it. So as you compress a spring, it does torsionally twist a bit.
Yep.
So to take that twist out of the suspension, they've put a bearing in there.
Lets him turn. And
just lets him turn, even so much. Yep. And keep the suspension working exactly as it should without it binding less or more. Really nice.
Just
good job on those shocks, mate. You've done shocks before.
Oh, just a couple.
Super small shocks now. Yeah, so they've probably got, what, 3 drops of oil in them?
Just about. I think 2.5, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, very small. And obviously the smaller volume, the more finicky they're going to be, and the quicker they'll go out of tune.
But no, look, Yokomo being Yokomo, their shocks in on-road and off-road have always been amazing in my books. I've got off-road buggies that have had shocks built that, I haven't had to rebuild in years. Same on the old BD7 2015 car. I haven't rebuilt the shocks on them in ages. They know what they're doing.
That is fantastic, mate. What other tidbits have you got for us?
Yeah, look, I just got the Hobby Wing gear in there. It's all the new stuff. Just to
that's the G4R.
It's all
freshly released.
The new gear. Same with the Speedy. That's all the new one.
What's that one? A G2S Elite or something?
Yeah, that's the Pro one now.
Ooh.
So it actually makes a little when you turn it on noise now.
I like the old ones. Didn't the old ones used to do that?
No. This new one does. The old one didn't. But no. I've been running the Hobby Wing gear now for quite a while, and sort of.
They do make neat stuff.
Yeah, they do.
And you've done a decent job wiring it up too.
Oh, look.
I mean, you've got to take pride in what you do, right?
Got to have them neat. Done some wire shortening.
Usually when it's neat, it's reliable.
Yeah, yep, definitely, 100%.
It's not hanging around or flopping around or
you see
wearing
cars
a belt.
With the wires hanging out here from the receiver and zip tied up, and oh my goodness, gets sucked into the fan and you hear the grrrr, and then the car comes to a stop. So no, I've shortened all the wires on the servo, and ESC was the right length. The other thing with the ESC wire is it's got a cutout underneath the motor mount, so you tuck the wire in and under. Beautiful.
Yeah, ever since we started putting speedies behind the motor, that was always my bugbear, was having the...
to run it up and over.
Some people run it underneath, but I never really liked it because it did leave it exposed to getting jarred in a big stack or something.
Yep, always worried me that the motor might heat up and melt the wires and then short it out.
That's right, into carbon.
Or you ran it over the top, and I used to just put a bit of shoe goo on the top here to hold the wire to stop it moving.
Yep.
That was the other option. I know RC Maker do make a motor clip, a 3D printed one, and the wire feeds through it. So again,
Beautiful.
just hold it. Yeah. So there's a lot of different stuff around. But yeah, no, beautiful car. Definitely top-notch stuff right there.
Well, you wouldn't expect anything less from Yokomo.
Nah. Look, I've built a lot of the Yokomo cars, and that was definitely the best build. Yeah.
Best built yet.
That was, yeah, pretty spot on.
And they haven't been this price since 2016, 2018 probably.
Probably
Really good.
Probably
I've got some fast tyres on there too. I was glad you got those on there.
Yeah, brand new.
Sweet. Fantastic, mate. So when are you christening the car?
TFTR on Sunday.
Are you racing this weekend?
Yeah.
Fantastic, mate. I'll be keeping an eye on you. Make sure you send us some pictures.
Yeah, definitely. So I know Ange will be down there with his
Angelo, another team member. Yep, he will have his ready.
Stepped up to mod now, so he's gone to the big boy league. I'm too old for it now. I'm 50, so I need to look at the veterans leagues.
Fantastic, Scotty Rawlings. Well, thank you for taking the time to come in, talk about your Yokomo MS 1.0.
Yeah.
And everything Hearns Hobbies and Hearns Hobbies Racing. It's been a pleasure. Look forward to seeing you out on track.
Yeah, man.
I'm Brett from Hearns, and that's Scotty Rawlings.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
No worries. See ya.